busting my balls, Billy, okay?
I can already tell that I don't like you.
Fuck you, bust on my ball.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
It might be your first ball job.
Yeah, of course.
How long did it take for the guy to come?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bustin' Balls. I'm your host, Eric Pinnell. What's going on, everybody? How's life, huh? You doing good? I've been scouring the internet for stuff to talk about on the podcast, man. And, one of the stories that popped up of recently was that Joe Buck, Troy Aikman video about them talking about the flyovers before games and stuff like that. And when I listen to it, I'm trying to understand, like, are they talking shit about the country, how it's wasted? Because it sounds like they're talking about it's wasted money. And it's not going to happen with a Kamala Biden presidency. And again, they put Kamala first. Nobody ever does Pence Trump. You know, so it always makes me wonder, like, these guys know, like, their agenda is really Kamala's the one. But when you hear this, what do you think? What do you think when you hear this? Do you think that they're...
It's a lot of jet fuel just to do a little flyover.
That's your hard-earned money and your tax dollars at work.
That stuff ain't happening with Kamala Biden ticket. I'll tell you that right now, partner. It's a lot of jet fuel just to do a little flyover.
That's your hard-earned money and your tax dollars at work.
That stuff ain't happening.
So what the hell are they saying? I mean, so clearly they're saying, like, look, that's a waste of money to have the jets fly over, and that's not going to happen with a Harris-Biden ticket. But it almost sounds like, they are saying that's a waste of money. And yeah, is it a waste of money? I guess you could put it in that category. But how many times, how much money do we waste as a country anyways? How much money are we wasting on fucking Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, not as a country, but as to pay those assholes to do, subpar fucking, we waste money everywhere. And another, so look where it's at now. Now you can't stand for the national anthem with sports no more. And now they don't even want the Jets there. They don't even want the Jets there. They want no presence there at all. You know, like they can't even pay respect to the place that they're even playing football on, and the place that protects them. So that's how I look at it, man. Where it's like, it's just one step closer to just get out of here. We're changing the country. Get out of here. We're changing the country. Let's take down the statues. Get rid of that history. We're only putting good history up. Okay, because history's so fucking pretty. It's all that. Like, get it out of the. We're not teaching in schools. We're gonna teach some lovey-dovey fucking huggy. Let's not teach economics, math, and fucking history, smart things that would actually help a human. We're gonna teach them victimhood shit. But dude. I'm not trying to say like this is like you should be outraged, but there's definitely something to this, right? I mean, and they said that on a hot mic. They didn't say it where they wanted somebody to hear it, And anyways. I came across this clip, and it's so fucking powerful.
Left knows exactly how to bait black people because they use things like racism. Can I give you an example? The other day, Michelle Obama went on TV. She gave a whole speech, talked about how Trump was this and Trump was that. And at the very end of what she said, she made sure to say, and yes, it is racist. You know why? Because the minute you call anything racist or you add race into it, black people get emotional and they come out. Kamala did the same thing because they know how to bait black people in. The problem is black people are stuck looking at CNN and the rest of that stuff. And here's my thing, and I've told black people this before, who are Democrat. I don't try to convince Democrats to be Republican. What I try to convince them to do is know your history and read a little bit. Do your research. If you still want to vote Democrat, do what you do, but be an educated and an informed voter. Most Democrats can't tell you why they Democrats. They just hate Donald Trump. They can't even tell you what Biden did in 47 years, but they're going to vote for him.
Boom. And that's it, man. They know that is one thing that bothers people about how it's like, dude, people get triggered. People they operate on emotions. Everybody, including myself. Everybody has an emotional button and stuff. But what that guy right there is spitting straight facts. And the Democratic Party, don't be surprised that they're getting a large African-American freaking, portion of voters this time around. Much more than last time. And it makes me laugh how, like somebody like Ice Cube gets heat for making a deal with the Trump administration and talking to them when he talked to both sides. Here's something. Here's Herschel Walker talking about it.
Been asked many questions about Ice Cube, and I don't really know Ice Cube, but I know he was trying to do something great for the African American community, and he's been ridiculed, he's been put down, and I think it's sad because it's not like he went to the Trump campaign only and said, hey, I need you to help me with the African American community. He went to both campaigns. And the Joe Biden campaign told him we would get back in touch with you after the election, which has happened to African American for years. We've been put on the shelf. Well, the Trump campaign jumped on it, and he never said he was supporting the Trump campaign. And like I said early on, I don't know him, but I think it's a shame that he will be put down for trying to help someone. I've been asked many questions.
So that's it, man. I mean, for people to get on Ice Cube, it's like, look, man, they're just trying to get a deal done. And in Ice Cube's defense, he's dealing with the current president. And although he could not be the current president within a few weeks, he's dealing with the current one and the one that he, that's dealing with him. But for some reason, instantly, if you look on social media, oh, Ice Cube's an Uncle Tom, he's a sellout, we believed in you, all this like stupid, ignorant stuff. And you see adults doing it where you go, oh my God, you're an adult? Like, don't you whatever happened to adults being like grown-ups and putting on their big girl and big boy pants? Whatever happened to that? Where people just, they just walk and they're just a walking crybaby. Dude, I tell you what, though, and I get it. This is why they don't like Trump. This is some of the stuff they don't like Trump because he's not presidential. They would rather you be like somebody like Barack, which was very presidential and very, put together and stuff like that. And other presidents, as they were doing stuff, they wanted to be like Bill Clinton, which was, oh man, a good president, as he's getting blowjobs in the fucking, whatever. And, but as long as it looks like how they want it to look, that's all, that's all like a group of dummies just want. Just as long as it looks like what they want it to look like, it's all good. It's thumbs up. They don't care about results. They just want it to look like so they feel soft and comfortable inside. But man, this is one of the reasons why they hit Trump, man, at a rally here.
With a pandemic, they're getting tired of the pandemic, aren't they? Getting tired of the pandemic. You turn on CNN, that's all they cover. COVID, pandemic, COVID. You know why? They're trying to talk everybody out of voting. People aren't buying at CNN, you dumb bastards. They're not buying it.
Dude, place goes wild. And he calls him a dumb bastard, man. So I get it. But you know what? One of the things why people like Trump is that he talks like a regular guy. He talks like a regular person. And you know how many people out there talk more like a regular person than talk presidential and talk all like, well, we got to do this and we got to do that and I'm not going to go in the mud, He's a guy's guy. He's like with stand-up comics, they always tend to like comics, like they like that type of person, This guy is like, he's like a guy's guy. He's like, that's why girls like him. That's why women like him. That's why guys like, and also he doesn't pull any punches. And another thing why a lot of people on one side doesn't like Trump is because he punches back. They would just prefer him just to sit there still, and why they punch him, and let's bash your character, and so we can get our person in there the next time around, and don't come back. First of all, who would want to be a president after dealing with like this last presidency? Who would deal with this? Who would want to deal with this? Seriously. I've said it for podcasts in the past, man, where it's like, what good people that would want to run for presidency? Look at Amy whatever the fuck her name is, that's running for, that's trying to get the Supreme Court seat here. They look what they did with Brett Kavanaugh. They basically call everybody in your family, say something about your mama. They say something about your kids. Look what they're doing about this lady's kids. They're saying, because she adopted, Give me a break. Like, what good people would want to run for office You know, I mean, first of all, I get it. You got to be thick-skinned. No, it's more than that. They go deep. They go deep. Let's throw mud and let's try to ruin your name. And good people just eventually they just don't step up to the plate. You know, a lot of people got skeletons in their closet. A lot of people have little skeletons in their closet. A lot of people have no skeletons in their closet. But guess what? People will try to put skeletons in their closet, and people don't want to sign up for that. So don't be surprised when you end up with people like Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump. Okay, that's who signs up for it, because good people don't want to like great people don't. Not saying that these guys aren't great people, but I'm saying that these ultimate excellent people that are going to step up for the presidency, if you don't see them, that's one of the reasons why. Okay, it's not worth the squeeze. I mean, especially now. I mean, presidents don't even get any respect. Look at Trump. And then some people could say the same thing with Barack Obama, although I think Barack Obama had a lot of respect. He lost respect once he started doing some actions where, like, you were like, hey, I remember the first time I ever lost respect for Barack Obama after I voted for him is when he goes over to Japan and acting like he's doing the apology fucking tour over there, saying we apologize for dropping the bomb on him talk. And it's like, we're apologizing for dropping the bomb on Japan? That's what you're talking about? The same people that fucking, allied up with the real Nazis, like real Nazis. They're the ones that allied up with them to take over the fucking world. And we're over there apologizing, Barack Obama. Get the fuck out of here, bud. You got my vote the first time. You didn't get it the second time, man. But anyways, I unearthed this clip right here of, I just thought it was funny, man. It was Shaq and Charles Barkley a bunch of years back talking shit to each other.
Another must-win for Cleveland.
Oh, my goodness.
You don't want to mess around, Chuck. You have no idea what we're talking about.
It's a real must-win for Boston.
Because you've only been to the finals once. So you don't know.
I was riding on Dwayne Wade's and Kobe's coattails.
Doesn't matter, Chuck. I got the same thing you got, and I passed you up 10 years
Just
ago.
letting you know. If I had been riding on Kobe's coattails, Dwayne Wade's, and Alonzo Mourning's, too. I forgot about him.
Must-win for those guys. Everybody knows you're a bum.
Rick Fox.
People question why you're in the Hall of Fame anyway, bum.
Damn.
I would say this, Shaq.
No, it's a must
Why did that get so personal when we're talking about Game 5?
No, because Chuck always interrupt me. Don't interrupt me, Chuck. I'm going to punch you right in your face.
I'll tell you what. Okay. We're going to be moving some furniture.
Okay, I got you.
I'm going to throw one of these chicken wings at your fat ass.
Okay.
You going to spit it like one you going to grab it like one of those birds do.
You going to do what?
Come on, man. Quit your around.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
No, come on, man.
You don't want to get on this old cheap suit Kenny got on.
I don't know. That sounded real, right? That sounds a little real. I mean, it does sound like shit talking. Who knows? Maybe they even said, "Hey, we're gonna go at it" or whatever like that for a second. But dude, another thing, talking about fucking that's been happening the last couple days was 50 Cent back in Biden or back in Trump.
All I really need is a little bit. Yeah, woo! 50 Cent has officially endorsed President Trump for 4 more years of Make America Great Again. Yeah! Black Americans are running off of the ghetto.
This fucking dude is crazy. But yeah, dude, I mean, so 50 Cent backs Trump after he reads Joe Biden's tax plan. You'd have to be a fucking idiot to not know, especially if you have money. I get it. A lot of people vote for Democrats because we're like regular fucking people and we're broken in the mud. Where it's like, I'm broke now. I'm just going to be more broke. Who cares? But when you have something to lose, like somebody like 50 Cent and a bunch of other rich people, you're not going to vote for that shit. What are you doing? You're voting to give away 60% of your fucking money? Is that what you're doing? And I like how they always say that Biden goes, oh, yeah, but it's only people that make $400,000 or more. For now. And that's what they say now. Politicians don't lie. And also, what are you doing? You're giving incentives for people not to want to be rich, not to make over $400,000 a year. Why would you want to be doing incentives to make people stay on the poor side of life? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you incentivize them to fucking like, hey, get rich? Get rich and you get better tax breaks. I don't know. I'm not saying, look, and I'm a poor guy. But I'm saying either way, high taxes are not a good way to go. When you're talking about 60%, this is what blows my mind, man. There's a lady that I seen on TikTok that had she works at Amazon, and she's talking about packing up Amazon packages. And I know what she's talking about because I drive all around Chicagoland. I mean, all over Chicagoland. I'm driving 300 miles a day probably in Chicagoland. And you see the signs in the yard. You see the Trump signs. You see the Biden signs. So and I was talking about that on podcasts before where I was like, man, I see a lot more Trump signs than Biden signs. I didn't see a lot of Biden signs even in Chicago lawns. And not saying you didn't see them. I mean, of course you've seen them. But not on the percentage that you thought. So this lady works at Amazon, and she's talking about Trump flags and stuff and Trump memorabilia and how she sees a lot more of that coming through than Biden.
As somebody who works at Amazon in the pack department, let me just tell you, I pack more Trump things in a night than I do Biden things. Tonight was the first night I touched anything that said Biden on it in the 3 months that I've worked here. That tells me something.
That does tell you something, and I don't know if what that tells you. I seen some news report talking to truck drivers, and they asked a female truck driver. They go, "Who do you think's going to win?" And she goes, "Trump." And then she goes, "I see way more Trump signs than Biden signs." Same thing I'm bringing up when I drive around Chicagoland, but they're on highways and stuff, right, going across the country. And then they interviewed another guy that's another truck driver. He goes, "Man, I see firewood for sale signs more than I see Biden signs." And I mean, he's fucking right. He's definitely right. You don't see it a lot. You don't. And so it makes you wonder. And again, people could just go fan crazy over Trump. Maybe it could be one of those things where it's like, yeah, people were just really feeling it. And who knows? And I don't know. Somebody like me really worries about that shady ass mail-in vote thing. Because it doesn't seem like it's very legit. It seems like there's a lot of room for fraud, and for people to not think you're very young in thinking, and it's just not intelligent to think that's where the fraud can be at. Because, dude, you could come on. You do them in the back of the room, the back of the freaking building. You circle the building, you bring them into the front door, and I know people go, that ain't going to happen. Yeah, I heard in Minnesota you could have mail-in ballots without even being postmarked. I don't even know if that's true, but that's what I hear. And it sounds like that's about right. Here in Chicago, you can vote without an ID. I remember my wife, the first time we voted here, we had our IDs out, and they go, "We don't need your ID." We looked at each other like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You don't need your ID. How do you need your ID to buy liquor and cigarettes and to buy marijuana because it's recreational here? And you need stuff like that. But you don't need an ID to vote. How is that not the most ridiculous thing ever? Because nobody would do voter fraud, huh? Nobody would just show up with a list of names where they go, "Hey, I got 30 names on a list. I'm just going to go around voting for all these people." I'm Mel Smith. I'm Mike Smith. I'm Bob Smith. And they just go fucking from one place to the next place, just voting for Bob Smith. Like that wouldn't be easy for them, especially if it's inside baseball. But again, to talk like that, it's just ridiculous. And you would think something like voting would be, but no. No, what a surprise. What a surprise that they just dumb us down on stuff like that. They dumb us down in the schools. They dumb us down on the news. They dumb us down everywhere. I wonder why, because they just want us to be dumb, okay? That's all they want. Dude, you know what bothers the shit out of me is how we got the worst news, ever. How does America have the worst news? Of course, the smart people know the real news is on the internet, because then you can see all what's going on, and then that's how you determine what's correct. That's what's pathetic, is how you gotta watch different things. And I get it, that people go, well, that's how you're supposed to do it. Get a bunch of sample sizes, and then you figure it out yourself. Yeah, but it would be freaking nice if we just had certain news organizations that would just give it right down the pipe, where you didn't have to watch fucking, because guess what? Most people like you and I, we know what's up. But there's a lot of people out there that don't have time to look on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the social medias and all the internet to kind of get what the real story is and to get the people that are on the ground. And that's why people just go to CNN, Fox News, whatever, MSNBC and stuff, whatever their local news is. Fucking shit. It's shit news. It's like, what are they doing? What are they doing? And then you got things like Twitter and Facebook and all these social media networks that are doing that are censoring stories, like the recent Biden story and his son. They're censoring it, saying it's not real news or it's not a real story. It's Russia's son, and it's just like, what? How stupid are people? How stupid are people where we just take this from them? Like we just allow them to gather all our data, gather up all the money, and they just dictate what news stories that we even get, and they determine what's real or not. How are they censoring doctors that are coming on and talking about like their experience with like I don't even want to say the name because I'll get banned off too. You know, they can't even talk. They can't even talk certain drugs that worked. They don't want to. They can't talk their experience. Real doctors get banned off and pages taken away and videos taken off. Come on, man. People need to wake up. It's clearly in our face that there's a takeover. There's clearly a takeover. And like I said, the schools suck. It's all anti-government type stuff. And I don't even like defending the government. But because I've never been a government guy. Like, I'm not trying to defend the government. But when you're talking like constitutional rights that are designed for us, to benefit us, who the hell wants to get rid of free speech? What kind of idiot would want to get rid of free speech? And there's people out there that they defend, censorship. They defend it. Who would not want guns? Who doesn't want guns to defend themselves? Who are those people? Where they go, oh yeah. Dude, I live in Chicago, man. We got over 650 murders this year, okay? 3,400 people, I think, have been shot. How many of those 650 people that have been murdered here in Chicago are registered gun owners? How many? But they never bring that up. They never bring up how registered gun owners, they just think the guns are bad. It's like, no, criminals are always going to be criminals. They're always going to need a weapon, okay? So you can get rid of the guns, and they're still going to get them, okay? It's just the way it is. Didn't you see what happened when they got rid of alcohol? What happened? Don't you see when you got rid? That drugs are illegal? You see how that? Do it with the guns and see what happens with that, you fucking geniuses. And I know they'll just penalize people more and shit like that, but we should, whatever.
Is that the central intent of policing is to kill blacks. I challenge every big city police chief in this country to invite Kaepernick to a week's worth of ride-alongs with their anti-gang unit at night. I challenge every public housing manager in this country in a gang-infested project to offer Colin Kaepernick a month's worth of free housing in their project. And we'll see if Kaepernick concludes that the problem is the police and not criminals. He's living in a fantasy world. And if Kaepernick doesn't have the balls to either do those ride-alongs or live in a housing project instead of his millionaire's mansion, he need only go to a police community meeting in a high-crime neighborhood, and I can set up with precinct commanders and talk to those good law-abiding people there and ask if they want to abolish the police. And here's what he'll hear, Tucker: not on your life.
So there you go. That's Heather McDonald on Tucker Carlson talking about Kaepernick, saying that, the police are the problem. First of all, the police ain't the problem, okay? It's, come on, dude. Blaming the police on society's problems like blaming the fire department on, fires. I mean, it's just not, it's not the problem, okay? Not saying there aren't bad cops, of course. But you roll up, you roll up on a desperate situation and see how you handle it. Miss and Mr. I would have done it better. Don't do it that way. Yeah, you roll up on somebody on PCP or some other drug that's got them all cranked up, and you want to put a fucking social worker in front of them. Good luck with that. You don't think the cops didn't think of that? You think when cops roll up on people on PCP, they don't try talking to them at first? Guess what? You're not talking to them like they're a normal person. People don't realize, like, you're not talking to them like you're not talking to somebody that's on PCP or a drug that's got them all cranked up on like that and act in whatever behavior that got the cops called on them in the first place. You're not pulling up on a diplomat, okay? You're not pulling up on a fucking Churchill where you go, oh my God, now we're going to have a battle of the minds. No, you're not. You're dealing with somebody that's all hopped up on some bad drugs, and you're trying to get them out of society, so the rest of the humans can be safe in the area. Okay, and when it goes wrong, it goes wrong. Sometimes these cops, they don't do the right thing, and I get it. There should be consequences, but to just paint the brush that cops are the problem, that's ignorant. Okay, That is the stupidest thing anybody that has a half a brain can, and again, like everybody's already talked, you're talking about defunding police departments. Guess what? The good neighborhoods aren't going to be defunded. Okay. They're not going to do it because they know better. They know better. Because guess what? The rich people have the nice shit. They know people are going to come in robbing. And don't be surprised if, like how it is now, people are buying more guns. People are buying more ammo. That's just the way it is. And again, they want to defund the cops and take away the guns. I got you. I see what you guys want us to do. You want us defenseless. Yeah, you want us defenseless. So what? Why do you want us defenseless? What are you going to do? Why do you want us defenseless so we can't do anything? So you could bring in your socialism? So you could bring in your communist? Huh? Is that why? Maybe. I don't know. I sound crazy, but it doesn't sound that crazy at all. Sounds like the writing's on the wall. Sounds like you want to get rid of our statues. Sounds like you want to get rid of our history out of our freaking schools. Sounds like you don't want to teach our kids the right things they should be learning that will help them as an adult and make smart American humans and positive citizens. Sounds like you want to you want to get rid of the cops. Sounds like you want to get rid of our border police. Sounds like you want to get rid of everything that protects this country. Why? What do you got coming in after that? Yeah, we're on to you, bud. Bustin' Balls Podcast, okay? Please share the podcast if you do like the podcast. Guys, sorry about all the clips, but this is kind of how it is now with me doing these solo podcasts. It's either I'm just ranting for 25 minutes or I do play some, content and jump in on it. Bustin' Balls Podcast on TikTok, Bustin' Balls Podcast on Instagram. Please share the podcast if you do like it. It helps put it in front of somebody else that might listen to it, and it does help those numbers. And I do see the numbers going up, so thank you so much. And guys, I hope everything's good with you. I hope your money's all right. Hope your family's all right. And hopefully moving forward, I think 2021 is going to be a much better year for us. I clearly it can't be any worse. But I do see sunshine coming. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Bustin' Balls Podcast.